First of all, a very warm good evening to all the attendees, speakers, and the host. Welcome to the series of webinar, which is hosted by Medleymed on e-clinic and pharmacy, which is a revolution in digital care. And I take this opportunity to welcome today's speaker. So here is the speaker, Mr. Anirudh. So Mr. Anirudh is currently an operations manager for Medley Medical Solutions Private Limited, and he holds 15 years of experience in product management, business intelligence, and data analytics. So once again, welcome Anirudh to the panel.
Thanks, Sharad.
And let me introduce the moderator for today's session. So it will be Mr. Ajeesh. Mr. Ajeesh is currently a sales head for Medley Medical Solutions Private Limited, and he holds 10 years of varied experience in sales across IT and many other industries. So Mr. Ajeesh will be moderating the session for the day. Ajeesh, you can take it from here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharad.
Yes.
Anirudh, so we have straightly we want to start the conversation starting from the product. Okay, so since this is a new product which we have launched recently, from the sales perspective, yes, there are a couple of things which can be measured or which can be handled by the salespeople. But once the sales close, then the actual interaction starts with the client. The operations work is not so easy, as I see from across different industries and different kind of experience I have. I see a lot of challenging in operations. So we clearly want to know how exactly the operations gonna work, how exactly it will added value to the company in terms of customer satisfaction, right? So we quickly ask you a couple of questions regarding on this, so that we can address the whatever the queries we have or whatever the assumptions we have, how exactly it's gonna work operationally in the back end. So starting from this one question, this might be a sales kind of a question, but you can answer it. Okay. So what is Ananda e-clinic all about, and how it will work in a pharmacy? How it will get benefited in the pharmacy.
So I mean, to put it in a layman's language, Ajeesh, it is basically instead of a pharmacist becoming a doctor when a patients have some kind of an issue or a basic issue where they visit a pharmacy, Ananda Clinic would help the pharmacist as well as the patient to get into a structural and a corrective medicine to be given to the patient as such. So Ananda Clinic is basically a unique solution or an offering, which is mostly either to the pharmacy or a diagnostic center, where we tend to see most of the patients once they get their get some kind of a issue with their health or something, they would tend to visit a pharmacy immediately and then speak to the pharmacist instead of having a word with the doctor directly. So what they tend to do is go to a pharmacy and get a medicine for themselves and then come back home, take that medicine, and with the pharmacist experience who might be having running that pharmacy for over like 10 years or 15 years or probably say 5 years also, he might get to know basic medicines. If I go with a stomach pain, he would give me a diclofenac or something, and then he would say, okay, just take care of this thing. If nothing changes, you can go and meet a doctor after 3 or 4 days, which is another kind of a expense that we would be having if we don't get the proper medicine on time. So for a individual who visits a pharmacy, Ananda e-clinic would be the apt solution where with the current norms and the rules that have been put by the Drugs Association of India, they clearly said right now every medicine that is being sold from the pharmacy, excluding the OTC drugs, need to have a proper prescription if even I need an antibiotic. So for these kind of issues, where I know pharmacists who have been probably visiting like 7-8 years now, or probably right from my childhood, uncle rahenge, I go there, I ask uncle, give me one tablet, and then he gives me. So to cut down that probably an issue or a concern from the customer perspective, we thought it would be a good move for us to have a pharmacy including a telemedicine consultation as such, where Ananda e-clinic would be a part of the pharmacy, run by the pharmacy, and prescribed medicines would be given by the same pharmacist again. So it is basically a small nursing home with a telemedicine platform with an attached pharmacy. That's the basic outline that I can give you about what Ananda e-clinics is all about.
Okay, cool, nice. Cool. So how gonna impact the number of consultation on a daily basis to the doctor? Normally, if you see, general day to day for doctor's life, they sits in a clinic or they sits in a hospital, and they, they give some time, consultations time period. They consult, one clinic to another clinic. They jump in after they're practicing in hospital. How many consultation they normally see through online? It's been increasing daily or been declining, right? Because when a post-COVID, most this telemedicine has been adapted by many people. So do you see there is a increase or decreasing of the consultation online?
So I mean, teleconsultation, Ajeesh, would always be what do you say? Or I say the pandemic situation would something be where we should say something before the pandemic and then after the pandemic, especially with the teleconsultations business or the business model as such, where most of the teleconsultations which were at probably say 3% or 4% before the pandemic have now gone up to about 30-40%, where my mother, who was not interested, it's my own example that I keep giving in different platforms. So, it is my own mother who was not interested in taking a telemedicine consultation with a doctor, is now used to get her, consultations done on a monthly or a bi-monthly basis based on the feasibility of the doctor and the availability of the doctor. So now she doesn't have to get ready, doesn't have to go downstairs, get into the car, go to the hospital, cut down the waiting time and everything. With respect to the increase in consultations when compared with the regular consultations that the doctor is having, this would always increase the consultations with Ananda being your support, or you being an Ananda partner or an Ananda doctor, because I am a patient, or I am a person who's going to a pharmacy without a prescription to get a medicine done, take a medicine, and giving me a doctor in between would always increase the consultations of the doctor, not reduce it as such. So though I am not a regular regular visitor of a particular doctor, say Dr. Ajeesh is sitting in Medley pharmacy, and Dr. Sharath is in Ananda e-clinic, and Anirudh is the pharmacist who keeps giving out these medicines. It is an advantage for Dr. Sharath or Dr. Ajeesh, who are sitting in either Medley this thing or Ananda clinic platform. They are combined here, and then they will start getting n number of consultations like this, because I have seen couple of the medical stores themselves being shut down because they did not have proper prescription when they were sharing the medicines as such.
Okay, nice. Okay, so operations perspective, couple of questions we want to raise. Once this pharmacy is associated with Ananda clinic, okay, so he's been partnered with Ananda clinic. What kind of operational challenges you face, and what kind of operational things you do with the pharmacy? Most of these pharmacy guys may not have that techie savvy to use the application, right? So what kind of operational, what kind of support you've been giving post, partnering with Ananda clinic?
So it is not as operations as it is when we consider operations in for a particular customer. It is basically an account management work that we would have to start doing it. It is kind of somebody brings in does the pre-sales job and then hands over those customers to the operations team, which I would specially not call an operations team, but always call them as an account management team, where they would perfectly try to resolve the issues that the customers are facing, and also the issues that the patients are facing from both the perspectives. take their feedback, then speak to the IT team or the software team, get the things back in place if they are not, and then get it going. Or if there are any new requirements from the customers as such in the middle of the event, it is always the responsibility lies with the operations team. From operations, it is, I would call account management is a very important role, or a mediator between the end user, the facilitator, as well as the programmer as such. So the doctor who's the programmer, and the end user who's the patient, and the facilitator who's the platform service provider, whether it be Medleymed medical solutions or any other person. So for an operations guy or an account management guy, it is always important to make sure he understands the client requirements, understands the issues that is the patient is having, and then giving it in a a documented format to the IT team to get the issues resolved, and then take the platform hassle-free. So I mean, from the operations perspective, it is all about how do I train the pharmacies. Yes, as you said, it is most of the pharmacies who are basically either a D pharma or a B pharma guys who would be sitting in the pharmacy would not have that kind of an experience, or might be a tech savvy when compared to we who are sitting in a corporate office and then working on the systems day in and day out. So probably for our team, it would be once a pharmacy is onboarded, all the formalities are done, the training session starts from day one, where we first go try to give them a brief about how they should use the platform and what is it that they are required to do initially. So once a patient steps in, what is the first step that they have to do? Check for a prescription. If they do not have, they ask them to get the consultations done. Because for a pharmacist, this is also a revenue generation model for him, apart from the medicines that he's supposed to give. Okay, for suppose say Anirudh comes down and Ajeesh, he says, I have a severe throat pain and I need some cough cells or something. The cough cells is kind of an OTC drug, you give it, but he says, I've been having this cough for over like 7 days now and it is not coming down. So Ajeesh would always say, it is better, sir, why don't you take an antibiotic and then use that antibiotic for some time, for the next couple of days. But then with the kind of issues that Anirudh is having, Ajeesh would not be in a position to tell him which antibiotic to be given and which one not to be given. That is where again, so what Ajeesh does is, now he moves Anirudh to the Ananda e-clinic platform, registers him, then gets him into the gets him connected with the doctor who is available, and then gets a prescription downloaded. So it is a win-win situation for both the pharmacy as well as the patient and Ananda e-clinic, all the three, because Ananda gets a consultation done. For the pharmacy, it is the extra revenue, because there is a revenue sharing model between Ananda as well as the pharmacy owner or whoever it is. And then for the customer, it is a win-win situation, because he's getting the correct medicine for him to go ahead and then be confident that he's taking the correct medicine for his issue that he's having. So this is kind of a win-win situation for all the three users that we are having here.
Okay.
From the operations, when I see, we train them from day one. Our operations team would be hand-holding them for a week's time, where they will give them at regular intervals if there are any issues, how is that they are gonna try to resolve those issues, connect with the concerned person or the accounts manager, whoever is there. If he is not there, who is the next L2 level person that he needs to connect? And if not, what is the next level process that needs to be taken? And if there is a issue that is persisting on and on, it is the responsibility of the operations team to get to the issue and then close it ASAP. So that is from the training perspective. So there is a 1-week training from the operations team who will be available. The operations team would be available within the pharmacy at least for an hour on a daily basis, or probably once in 2 days, where they go give them some training and then help them with any consultations that they want to do. The thing that we do here is we're giving a couple of consultations free for the pharmacy initially. Probably say about 5 or 10 consultations, where we train them with those consultations of their family members, or the people who come down at that point of time when our operations team is in the pharmacy.
Okay.
We make sure we get those consultations done, and that would be a hands-on training for the pharmacist as such.
Okay.
So that's it.
Ananda, you came up with a different kind of, so you have a lot of experience in data analytics. So what kind of a data? So which we currently been running almost a pilot version, been almost 30 days now. So it's closely 50 pharmacies we have onboarded, and what data we are capturing, and now we can go forward with that data. So is there any improvement on the particular aspects wherein we can do some improvement on the product, or in terms of to the pharmacy side? Okay. So what kind of a data we've been pulling out?
So I mean, data, when I speak, Ajeesh, it would be primarily my focus would be on, what is the patient level, what is the age of the patient that is coming in with respect to the age, what are the diseases that are coming in right now, what are the symptoms that he's coming up with, and then from that symptoms, we would get the information of what were the issues that those symptoms had caused. So probably, for Anirudh, who's working say about 12 hours in a day, he would probably have he would probably have his lunch and his dinner outside home. So we would first want to check what is the kind of issues that he is having, what is the lifestyle that he's having, and then what is the kind of the food that he's taking in. So based on all these things, when I come down and then see the prescription, it would always see let us know what are the medicines that he would be taking at that age, and what is the issues that he's having. And right now, with most of the customers, it is either the gastritis problem or probably an orthopedic problem that they are facing. So, from the data analytics point of view, it would mostly be what are the symptoms that an individual is having when compared with his age or the place and the area that he's coming in. So if I'm coming in from any other place where the water has some impurities, that would directly affect my internal system as such.
Adding to that previous question, Anirudh, so you also capture the data where urban and rural, obviously acceptance is very close. You also capture that data, where this platform gonna work, where the patients is getting more footfall, where it is getting useful, because the acceptance and the effortness. Obviously, Medleymed, our logo theme is quick and affordable, and the affordable price. If you go in, obviously, if you keep on 150 charges you put in urban area, so that is very very low cost. If you go with the same price in the rural areas, is that the same? You do also capture this data where the rural area is doing good or the urban area is pretty good for particular this product, and this also adding value to the pharmacy.
See, right now, with the kind of initiatives that the government of India, or probably say any other government that is right now into a tech savvy, this thing, say for example, the government of Delhi or probably government of Telangana, who have started either the Nukkad clinics, or say Gali Ka Dawkhana, and whatever it is.
Sure.
So that their concept is mostly, or probably you can say the UP project, where most of the PHCs are being handled through teleconsultations or telemedicine.
Out of one is e-Sanjeevani, I believe. So
correct, e-Sanjeevani and all these things. So there are different players when you compare with the rural and the urban as such. But from the urban perspective, it is always the price doesn't matter for the people who are staying in urban. It is the quality of service that you give to the people. But when you go and then step up in rural, it is always the service which comes upfront rather than the type of service that you are giving, or the quality of service that you're giving.
Exactly.
So in my village where my father was born, I started going in from about 30 years, probably like 20-25 years ago when I started going there. There were not even small clinics or anything, but now with the initiatives that the governments have taken, there is at least a doctor who visits these places once in a week, not at least on a daily basis, but yes, once a week he is available there, and then he has that availability. But with Ananda e-clinic being feasible and then made available with any kind of these at any kind of pharmacy, it is always easy, and probably the price is what we would have to always work on when we are comparing it with the urban and compared to the rural. So probably 150 would not be a feasible kind of price for me if I go to a rural section. Or probably I would still look at somewhere between 50 or 100. So that is where most of the doctors ply with, or the RMPs ply with. And then this service would mostly be useful to RMPs who are there in the villages, but then they kind of just hold a diploma degree, but or give a primary health service or a healthcare to the patients as such. So this will be very useful for those RMPs, because for RMPs, it is always there that they have a tie-up with a hospital or a bigger clinic or a bigger doctor, specialized doctor in the urban, where they come down and then refer these patients as such. Instead of that, instead of sending the patient from a rural to an urban or a city, it is always better through these e-consultations. You can always make the specialist doctors or experienced doctors available and affordable at basic minimum cost that we can do the rural teams as such.
Cool. Thanks for your input, this thing. And the final one more, Anirudh. So end of the day, we take a lot of feedbacks. And how we have this, we are getting the feedback on this particular product from 50 pharmacies.
See, I mean, it's been about a month or 40 days that we have started our full-fledged operations. And then, yes, thanks to you and the sales team who have made sure we have onboarded about 50 of them, out of which there are about 28 or 30 which are active as on date. And these active consultations, we are at least having about 3 or 4 consultations in a day, where the customer, not only the customer, but the pharmacist is very happy, because where I go to take a dolo, and then I am always at the risk of whether I should give him a dolo or whether I should give him another tablet. It is a hassle-free for the pharmacist to just take out that printout of the prescription, then hand over those medicines to the customer. So that way, it is always easy for the pharmacy, and the feedback from the pharmacists is very good and very positive, and they are very much happy with the kind of service and the doctors that we are having, because the doctors that we are having are at least having about 20 to at least a minimum years of experience is about 7.5 years, and the maximum is about 25 years. So there are varied doctors with good experience, and that is where they are in a position to cater to the patients accordingly.
Wow, great! Good to hear that boosts salespeople to I see this revolutionary product in going forward. Ananda Clinic, it not only serves the pharmacy guys, it also go to the end user finally. They can also get the healthcare. Most of these cases, normal scenario, the primary care is most of the people are avoiding. That leads to.
I mean, Ajeesh, what I get to know, or what I have been experiencing or been having with the kind of experience that I've been having in telemedicine platform, at least. Sorry. So at least the number of cases that the doctors that the patients go to the doctor, at least about 60 to 70% are with the basic primary, where they require primary healthcare or primary requirement for. It is not always a serious case that gets into a hospital or meets a doctor. So if we can handle this particular 60% cases where we can make sure and take care of what do you say, their care or their health care of the 60% people, rest assured all the doctors would be easily, or all the hospitals would be easily able to handle the kind of patients coming in on a daily basis, because we still see that there are patients waiting for hours to get a consultation with the doctor as such. So that is where probably telemedicine platform and Ananda would be useful for most of the people in the market, and would make sure that this product gives a real good solution to all the requirements that the patient is coming to towards their doctor.
Okay, great. So it's been now a very good session, and we very informative information in terms of account management, operations, things, how these feedbacks will coming. That helps us more to improve in terms of the product and the quality of the services what we are providing. Thanks a lot, Anirudh, for sharing all the information. I believe most of the our attendees also got that inputs. So let's wind up with this final questions with you. The final small question, Anirudh. Sorry for taking a lot of time.
Hey, no problem.
Your busy schedule. So if we are going into remotely, so since we start as pilot as Hyderabad and Telangana, so we expand our wings to pan India. So our vision is to across 1,000 by end of 6 months or next 1 year. Okay. So how do you do this management accordingly remotely? How is it opportunity is it more complicated, or to do the remotely doing this operational works or account management? Is it, how can we go and handle this? Because once we expand the business.
See, Ajeesh, basically it again jots down to the kind of SOPs that we have or we have made up for the operations as such, or probably say the account management per se. Once the SOP is in place and everybody follows an SOP that we have made on paper, it is taken for granted that at least 10% of cases are there where we have a spillover. But yes, if at least there are about 70 or 80% of the people or the operations and the pharmacy people who take care, from the operations perspective, it should always be 100% SOP related stuff, or SOP related steps that need to be followed. But yes, with the kind of complications or the issues that we might arise, or the concerns that might get arised in between, there is always an exception that there might be some spillovers. But yes, from the other perspective, it is always that once I follow an SOP and there are set guidelines and rules set for a process, there is no issue, or there would not be a concern even I sit in Hyderabad or in the US, or probably I am not there in the or part of the organization. The rules and the regulations or the process would be seamless and very clear. When I take it, when I have a written, and when the SOPs are right intact with the process that we are following.
Great. That sounds good. Anyways, thank you so much once again, Anirudh, taking your time, sharing your the information regarding this, regarding on the Ananda clinic. So we believe our journey will go long term. Along the missions, we expand our wings obviously. So the operational of the responsibility will be higher than us. Because pre-sales and post-sales is always difficulty. We see a lot of in terms of operation, and just like account management is not so easy job.
Yep.
But
that is what we once the farming is done,
right.
The farming is done, it is always the harvesting part which
Correct,
comes.
exactly.
Both of them are very so equally responsible for the growth of an individual organization, or say a process as such.
Correct.
That is where both of us have to be online and then on par with each other, and then hand in hand we should move ahead and then make sure we get to those places. And then yes, probably in the next couple of months, as planned and as we have been discussing, we would move ahead and then start our operations in the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities across Telangana and western part of India, the eastern part of India. That is where our next per se would go once we make sure we have a good robust control on in Telangana, where we are again moving into the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities. So once that is done, probably that is where that would give us a confidence right now with the kind of onboarded pharmacies that we have. We are already confident that we can go ahead and then start doing our operations, and then you as such, you are doing your sales very great. So that is where we'll probably go ahead and then give the best out of whatever we are supposed to give, and then make Ananda one of the leading platforms and the telemedicine platform in coming years.
Great. Good to there's always listening this kind of growth.
With the kind of development that I've seen in Medleymed, and to be precise, for the platform Ananda platform, it is really an eye opener for people who are outside Medleymed or Ananda clinic, because in a very short span, say about 2 months or 3 months, where we initiated the discussions on developing a product called Ananda, and how do we make it useful to and affordable to the people in public or in general. It is really an awesome place to take it forward, and a very good platform to start with for basic needs or the primary healthcare as such.
Correct. So that was the Medleymed. We have launched this product called Ananda Clinic, and that our vision is to provide the healthcare services at affordable prices to the consumers or the end users, and through the channel which the pharmacy, because most of the people primary care, they go to nearest pharmacy rather than going to a clinic or rather than going to a hospital. So this platform definitely gonna help those primary 17-18% of entire population. It's a very big number. So these people getting the service through Ananda Clinic is also very good. In terms of being associated with Ananda Clinic is also very good thing, and it's always a win-win situation, like you said, for pharmacy and as well as the Ananda Clinic. But again, finally, thank you so much, Anirudh, and thank you so much, Sharath, for arranging this webinar in terms of Ananda Clinic. I hope this by next couple of months we might do a webinar, so we have a good number of pharmacies again. We expand our wings into different states, and we can see a lot of information from Anirudh as well on data analytics and data
yes,
business perspective and operations perspective, management perspective, all this. We get a lot of data then. So that what time we might not sufficient in this 30 minutes, but we may take 1 hour of time of Anirudh in the next webinar. I hope we'll go together with Ananda Clinic and give the services the best to part of these. Our vision is to spread across entire pan India. Hopefully it will come soon, and be working together very hard, giving that best quality of services to the end user. And wish you all the best again combined. And thank you so much, Sharath and Anirudh. Let's
thank you.
end up this session.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ajeesh. Thanks for praising me and saying all goodies about me. Thanks, Sharath. And then, I hope we grow, and as Ajeesh said, we grow and make sure Anna grows to the level that we also have that confident and not kind of say we are proud of being a part of Ananda and Medleymed.
Yes. So thank you, Anirudh. So we are grateful for the time and effort which you took to share your thoughts and effort. And thanks to all the attendees for joining, and hope you gained a lot of great insights from this webinar. And to all the attendees, we hope you join us again in the upcoming series of webinar. So see you until next time. Thank you.